The Angels Director of Player Development is Tony Reagins, and 2005 marks his 14th season in the Angels organization. He started way back in 1992 as an intern for the Angels, and now he oversees all 7 of the Angels farm clubs. He is, in effect, the Angels farm director. Let's welcome Tony Reagins, the Angels Director of Player Development.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to Hank and Dee, the ownership group, Joe for coming out. You guys have a star in North. This guy is outstanding. He really takes care of We are very, very comfortable in leaving our players here in Rancho Cucamonga because we know that North and the staff at Rancho will take care of them. To the Booster Club and the host families, again, we really appreciate what you guys do for us because without you, a lot of times we're in tough situations as far as our players go. You guys have opened your homes, your cars, given players food, sat with our players while they're in the hospital. It goes on, and it is really, really exciting to have a community support our players like the people in Rancho Cucamonga do. I've been to a lot of Hot Stove Banquets in my time here with the Angels, and this one by far is first class and the best by far. And just keep doing what you do, keep supporting us. We're going to play hard every year. We're going to field a competitive team every year. We're going to play the game right, and we're going to play it hard. And the last 2 years we've been in the playoffs, and hopefully this year we can continue to do the same and go beyond the playoffs and win a championship. The 2005 staff, Ty Boykin, will be managing our club. He's been in an organization for a number of years, probably 14 or 15, I think that's right, Ty. He played in an organization, he's coached in an organization, and he's managed at the AA level, the A-ball level, and now he's here at Rancho. He'll prepare our players to play at higher levels, and that's our expectation of Ty, and he'll do an outstanding job. Our pitching coach will be Eric Bennett. Eric been in the organization for 3 years now. He pitched in our organization. He was the pitching coach in the Arizona Fall League this past winter. Their team ended up winning the championship, and he did an outstanding job. So Eric will be here as the pitching coach. Hitting coach will be James Rousen, who you guys probably are familiar with. James was here for the last 2 years and does an outstanding job. You have a newcomer and a trainer, Brian Ranker. Brian is outstanding. He was in Cedar Rapids last year and got a promotion to Rancho, and he's excited about that. So the 2005 season should be an exciting one. We just want your support and just keep coming out and seeing us, and we look forward to playing the game right and playing hard. Take care and have a good night.
North and Hank, it looks like the sales of the new caps are brisk already. I see some fans wearing them out there, so you got something going. As Tony Reagins mentioned, the Quakes will have a new manager in 2005. His name is Ty Boykin, and this will be his 15th season in the Angels organization. He was the manager for Arkansas the past 2 years. He started his Angels career in 1991. He also served as a hitting coach in the Angels system. Let's welcome your new manager for 2005, Ty Boykin.
Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. On behalf of my family, my wife is here with me tonight. We have 2 kids that are lost at the Johnson family household tonight. They were supposed to come, but they elected to stay back and play PlayStation and hang out with Norm's kids. But we really appreciate everything. I mean, it's been great. You know, Tony mentioned he's been to a lot of Hot Stove Banquets. I've been to a few, and I don't think the ones I've been to the last couple of years or anything like this. And this was outstanding. It's very great. We really appreciate all the hospitality and the warm welcome. Cruising around with North today, we're just noticing how they're building a new mall over here. So when my wife comes into town, I don't think I'll see her much. She'll probably be over there to do all of it. But yeah, that's good. She'll be out a little bit this summer with us. The kids will come out, and we're really looking forward to having a good year. You know, as Terry said, I've been with the Angels a long time, and I can really say that it makes me proud to be with such a classy organization. And that's from top to bottom, starting with Mike Scioscia and his staff, and he does a great job of getting his players ready for the season. In the last couple of years, it's been a great pleasure of mine to be in Major League Camp, to witness some of those things, and to just be around Mike Scioscia and his staff and watching him get his players ready for the season, and just listening and learning. I learned at a very early age that you learn a lot more with your mouth closed and your ears open. So when I'm in Major League Camp, you know, that's pretty much what I do. Mike kind of bust my chops a little bit. He says, man, don't say something sometime. Like, I don't have anything to say. You know, I want to learn. You know, I want to listen and learn. But it was a pleasure for me to be up there, because when I get down to minor league camp, I can share some of those ideas and some of those expectations with our younger kids that Mike Scioscia and his staff is looking for. And, you know, being in the same organization for a long period of time, you get to see and witness a lot of different ideas and philosophies and, you know, just things like that. But when, you know, you listen to Mike Scioscia talk and you listen to him, you know, get his players prepared for the season, he talks about being aggressive. He talks about playing the game the right way. He talks about fundamental baseball. And these are the things that fits in great with me, because I like to be aggressive. I like to play the game the right way. And for me, the only way to play the game is to play the game hard. And within that, you have being aggressive, you have going out every night and competing and playing the game the right way. You know, as Tony said, we're looking forward to putting together a good competitive team this year. I don't know exactly who we're going to have, but that still remains to be seen. But once we get into spring training and kind of sort things out, we're going to get a pretty good indication of what kind of ball club we're going to have here. So I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to meeting everyone. I hear so many good things about this organization here, from North and his staff to the Booster Club to the fans to everybody. So it makes me feel good to be here tonight and to be a part of such a great organization. And I look forward to a good year. Thank you.
Tonight's guest of honor is Angels manager Mike Scioscia, and Mike will be up here in just a moment to talk about the team. As you're well aware, if you follow the Angels have made a lot of moves in the offseason. Troy Percival, Troy Gloss, David Eckstein, Ramon Ortiz, Jose Guillen, Aaron Seeley, all valuable players at times in their careers with the Angels, are no longer with the club. But the team did do a lot of things in the offseason to fill the void, if you will, adding Steve Finley, Orlando Cabrera, Juan Rivera, Paul Bird, Esteban Yan, and Kendry Morales, a player the Angels signed from Cuba. So Mike will talk a little bit about the team. I want to talk about him. He begins his 6th season as the Angels manager. He's led the Angels to the postseason in 2 of the last 3 years. He has 3 World Series rings, 1981 and 1988 as a player with Los Angeles, with the Dodgers, and then 2002 as manager of the Angels. As a player, Mike was a first-round pick in 1976. He played 13 years in the majors. He was an all-star in 1989 and 1990. And he is the Dodgers' all-time leader in games caught, even with some of the great catchers, Campanella, Roseboro, Mike Piazza, Mike Scioscia catching more games than anyone in the history of the Dodgers, 1,395 games. I have a couple quick stories I'd like to share with you about Mike. One of them goes back to his playing days when he was with the Dodgers, and Tommy Lasorda, who was Mike's manager in his playing days, was always on Mike to stay in shape, to stay physically fit. No, I'm not going to do it. Mike said that was Brad Fulmer over there fumbling the plate. All right. But as a player, Mike sometimes struggled with his conditioning. Tommy Lasorda was always on him. Dangerous territory here. Joe Madden told me this story, so take it up with him. And one year when Mike was a player with the Dodgers, he really wanted to go to winter ball. And the Dodgers said, well, if you go down to winter ball, we're not going to be able to monitor what you're doing, you know, in the off season. We want to keep tabs on you. We want to make sure you're working out. We want to make sure you're keeping in shape. The legs are good. And so Mike said, no, I really want to go to winter ball. So the Dodgers reluctantly agreed. But part of the arrangement was, if Mike was going to go to winter ball, that he had to prove to the Dodgers when he was there in winter ball that he was keeping in shape and he was working out. He wasn't just down there to have a good time. So what the Dodgers said to Mike was, Mike, we're going to send an exercise bike down to winter ball, and you have to ride several miles every day on that exercise bike. And to even take it to the next level, the Dodgers also made sure that there was an odometer on that exercise bike to kind of keep track of how many miles Mike was using on that exercise bike during winter ball. And from time to time during winter ball, someone from the Dodgers would call down to his team's clubhouse. They would always, you know, this wasn't the days when you had cell phones, so the phone calls were kind of predictable, or regular telephone calls, no cell phones back then, and they would always say, hey, where's Scioscia? Is he working out? And in the background, you could hear the Dodgers guys that were on the phone could hear the exercise bike pedaling. And they go, yeah, he's right here. You want to talk to him? Mike would get on the phone and, you know, he would act tired on the phone. He said, yeah, I got 2 more miles in today. I'm doing fine. So a couple weeks went by, and some of the Dodgers officials, as they normally do, just decided that they were going to come down to winter ball to see not only how Mike was doing, but also some of the other Dodger players who were playing winter ball. And so they just kind of came to the clubhouse there one day, kind of unannounced. And this was around the time that Mike would normally be riding his exercise bike. So they walked in, and when they walked in, they found that Mike was paying a young man to ride the exercise bike. And so when they walked in, you saw a young man riding the bike, and Mike was on top of the trainer's table with a pizza box on his chest. So that's one of the best stories I've heard, but Mike had a way even then to kind of beat the system, so to speak. The other story I'd like to tell you has nothing to do about Mike Scioscia, the player, but it has a lot to do about Mike Scioscia, the manager, and also the man. I've talked at your banquet before, and I had just probably the best year of my life in 2002 when I became a Major League radio announcer for the first time after being in the minors for a long time. Not only did I get my first Major League job, but the Angels went on to the World Series, and I also got a World Series ring, which I am more than happy to show you when the banquet is over tonight, so please seek me out. But I'll never forget my first broadcast for the start of that 2002 season. My prior club had flown my parents all the way from Florida to Anaheim to be there for my first broadcast, which I'll never forget. And that in itself was very overwhelming for me. But our first game that year to start the 2002 season was on national TV. It was on ESPN. It was the end of March. We were the only game to start the 2002 season. And it was Jared Washburn against Bartolo Colon at the Big A. And I'm all excited, a little bit nervous, but I had called a lot of games in the past, so I wasn't too frightened that I wasn't going to be able to handle my responsibilities. So the game gets underway, and in the very first inning of that game, I think the first 5 batters for the Cleveland Indians reached base safely, and after a half inning, the Angels were trailing 4-0. Washburn had a rough first inning, needless to say. The Angels were down by 4 runs before they ever stepped to the plate. The final score of that game was 6-0, and Bartolo Colon threw a 5-hit shutout against the Angels. So it wasn't the best start for me in my Angel career as a broadcaster, but I was happy to get it underway. And after the game was over, I do the call-in show on our flagship station, Angel Talk. And as I'm getting ready for the start of Angel Talk, my producer, DC, tells me that we got 6 people on hold already. So that was good. We can only have 6 people on the line to start off any show. That's full phone lines are all booked. So the first guy goes, hey Terry, I know you're new. Welcome to Angels baseball. Get used to it. The team got shut out on 5 hits and lost 6-0. The next guy calls up, pretty much says the same thing. And that season, if you remember, started off with the Angels going 6-14 to begin the year. They only won 6 of their first 20 games. So at the end of the first Angel talk show, after my very first broadcast, I signed off and I said to my producer DC, I said, wow, man, these people are out for blood here. One game, I kept saying, hey, there's still 161 to go. There's no reason to be too concerned about one. It's one game, you're back out tomorrow and you can be 1-1 after your second game. As I signed off and talked to my producer, the phone rang up in my radio booth, and DC, my producer, answered the call, and he said, Terry, I just got a call from the clubhouse, and they want you to come down. So I was thinking to myself, wow, I just got through my first broadcast, I'm just getting used to Angel fans ripping the team, and now they're calling me up to come down to the clubhouse. What else, could be wrong here? So I get down to the clubhouse and walk in. And as I get down there, Mike Scioscia and Joe Madden, the Angels bench coach, presented me with the lineup card from opening night of 2002. And they said, Terry, we want you to have this. We know what this means to you. And, just in that story, I have that frame that's hanging in our house near Mission Viejo, and I'll never forget that because, those guys didn't have to do anything for me, but to think that they took the time to do that and to, share that with me and give it to me. And as it turned out, that was the lineup card from the first game of the World Championship season. So if I put that one on eBay, Mike, I might be able to get a little money, but I can tell you, I'm not about ready to do that. That will never leave my possession. So with that said, I think you know a little bit more about the gentleman that's going to talk to you. It is indeed my pleasure to introduce a fine man, a gentleman I call certainly a dear friend, the Angels manager again for this season, Mr. Mike Scioscia.
Thank you, Terry, and I want to welcome everybody and thank you for inviting me here again. It's great to come back, and I have roots in the Inland Empire and San Gabriel Valley. I lived in Claremont for 12 years. I've lived in Diamond Bar, and it's a great place to live, great place to grow up, and be happy you have the Quakes here because it's a gift and it's a jewel in this area, and I hope everybody appreciates that because it's truly something special. I want to correct Terry on a couple fronts. First of all, the first story in the Dominican Republic was absolutely not true. The stationary bike was not in the clubhouse, it was in our apartment. And I had a pizza, it wasn't on my lap, it was on the table. So get your facts straight, Terry. It cost me a lot of money to have those kids ride that bike. I have to admit that. It's great to be out here, and really one of the first events where I can talk about the Los Angeles Angels and the upcoming season and what's going on. And speaking of Los Angeles Angels, I'm sure it's a hot topic. It's been a hot topic. I'm sure everyone understands why Artie Moreno is doing it, and I think you'll come to understand why. But it brings up an interesting point about marketing and about name changes. I said, well, if a team can do it, why can't an individual do it? I think it's fair enough. My wife hit me with a brainstorm, and she said, I've got a great way to market. I think you can really market yourself, and it's a great way to do it. And she said, you should really look into changing your name. I said, what are you talking about? I said, what kind of name are you thinking? And she said, how about Jesus? The what? I'm waiting for a lightning bolt to hit me. I said, don't even joke about that. You got to be kidding me. She goes, no, honey, because when I'm walking around the stadium, you'd be amazed how many people are just saying, Jesus, Scioscia, what the heck are you doing? Just doesn't get baseball, I guess. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about our season, and I also want to talk about what's happening in Rancho Cucamonga. First of all, you guys have one of the outstanding young baseball people in the game today as your manager, and that's Ty Boykin. And I think you guys are really going to come to appreciate Ty. And you will definitely have to pass that hat if that new mall's going in, because I know the wives like to do it at malls, Ty, but I think you'll be fine. We implement a very aggressive style of baseball in our organization, and it's really come to fruition. And Ty was there at some of the early brainstorming sessions we had, and he had a lot of good input. In the style of baseball, it's going to take to win. And we're committed to going out there trying to win, not to try to worry about protecting yourself against losing. So you're going to see things on the field that are very aggressive. I think you guys have gotten used to them over the last couple of years, those of you that attend Quakes games. And it goes all the way from the Major League team all the way down. I think that's why we're a very dynamic organization. And it's really a lot of fun to be in spring training, a lot of fun to be around these kids. It's like taking the governor off of a car, and they feel like they can go and play the game aggressively and get after it. And that filters all the way down, and you'll see how Ty does things this summer. It's good. It's a fun place to play baseball. I know these kids appreciate it, and everyone in this valley should appreciate. I think the style of play that is in the Angel organization, and going further, the style that will be in Rancho Cucamonga. Baseball's a funny game. Terry alluded to 2002. We gave the lineup card, frankly, that night because we thought we were getting fired and wasn't going to be a second game. So we said we want to make sure we take care of Terry and we do this. But things changed in a heartbeat during the baseball season, and it certainly did in 2002. It did last year again for us as we won the division. But I've come to understand and come to learn how important one aspect and one trait a person has, and that's attitude. Our guys have the best attitude of anybody in the league when they put that Angel uniform on and they step on that field. And when that great attitude meets opportunity, incredible things happen. You can see what happened in 2002. You can see what happened at the end of last year. I think that's a trait that you really can't instill in anyone. It's something that's very, very important. And Mark, as you start your career, you're going to see the tough times in baseball, and what's going to separate the winners from the losers are the guys that can take those 7 outs they make to get those 3 hits. And put those 7 outs in perspective and get those 3 hits. Well, that takes attitude. That guy that's on first base and he's going to go to third base and he gets thrown out by 3 feet on a close play on a perfect throw. And next time he's on first base, he doesn't miss a step and he gets to third base by a foot, ends up scoring the winning run. That's attitude. So in attitude, you have that great attitude and you carry with you, and it meets opportunity, great things happen. And that's our focus in the Angel organization. And I think that's why you see teams come back like we did last year from what everyone had written us off to winning the first division in almost 20 years, to 2002, when a lot of people didn't think that this team had the talent to go as far as we did. But they have certainly underestimated the heart and the attitude of our club, and it's a huge part of it. And that's what we know will continue in our organization, and it goes through the whole organization. So you're going to see it out here at the Epicenter in Rancho Cucamonga, and it'll be something special to watch. Don't take it for granted, guys. Baseball's a great game. Don't take for granted the ability to go out there and see some of the future stars playing in what is the second best field in Southern California. And I think that if you go into the Epicenter, you know what I'm talking about. Just short of Angel Stadium, this field is incredible. And I think that everyone that's been there has a great experience, and I know I had a great experience when I was working in the minor leagues to go in there. And it was being built when I was living out here in Claremont, and there were great things that were expected of it, and I think it's attained everyone's expectations. So it's a credit to everybody that's worked hard for that. Thank you very much for inviting me here tonight. I think we have some questions and answers. Terry, do we have that? Or? Okay, we've got some questions and answers coming up, and I filled out most of them. That's why I was a little bit late, so I'm probably going to get a good cross-section of what's happening. Thank you very much.
All right, Mike, this is from Gracie. She wants to know, Tim Salmon, how's his recovery and rehab coming along, and will he be able to play this year?
Well, Tim Salmon, I think, is one of our favorite ball players. I think everybody's, and he's got some hurdles he has to clear. Not only a guy at Tim's age, but he had a serious knee injury, required surgery. He had his left shoulder, which affected his swing last year, and needed surgery. So on 2 fronts, he has a lot of work ahead of him. The projection is that Tim might be looking at playing some baseball mid-season. We certainly hope so, but I think that, along with everybody here, that if you're going to recognize one guy as an angel, it's Tim Salmon, and we sure hope he gets back and helps us this year.
Mike, Rob wants to know that your wife Ann gave blood at last year's Angel Booster Club annual blood drive, and can the Booster Club count on your support as far as giving some blood this year?
Well, yeah, Ann, she's got, I think she's the tough one in the family. We're driving up and she's saying, we're going to give blood, and I said, yeah, I'm ready, I'll do it. And as we're getting there, I said, oh, honey, I've got a meeting, I forgot about it. Just drop me off and go. And she went and gave blood, and she's very proud of it. And especially if there's a competition, because the competition is usually who can get more blood between the Angels and Dodgers, and the Angels always win. So she was happy to hopefully put us over that hump by that one pint she gave. But I'll try to be there if I'm not too squeamish.
All right, Mike Cole wants to know, will Vlad Guerrero be ready to play in spring training? He suffered a thumb injury, I guess, in winter ball.
What? Man, my heart's skipping me. No. Yeah, I think people have to understand the Dominican Republic, or any in Latin America, the passion people have for baseball, and it draws players back to want to play in the Winter League, especially when it comes playoff time. And Vlad, he plays in Licey in the Dominican Republic, same team I played for in winter ball. Funny, they never asked me to come back and play, but they asked him. So Vlad, Vlad was playing the game the way he should. He was aggressive, diving to second base, and he sprained his thumb a little bit. He's been checked out. He's cleared. He's back swinging the bat again, and he'll be fine.
Robert, Roy, and Ryan want to know if I, along with Rory Marcus and Rex Hudler, can call an away game from their home and they'll buy us pizza to do it. I'll talk to the guys. I'll see them tomorrow, actually, and we'll see if we can help you out on that. All right, Chuck wants to ask Mike, what do you think about the possible name change for the Anaheim Los Angeles Angels of Orange / Los Angeles County?
Well, we've already touched on this. I know it's not one of the most popular subjects, and I'll just go into a little bit of maybe what's happening. I'm sure people have heard about some of the ideas behind the name change. We had incredible fan support last year. 3.4 million people came to watch our club play. Our club won a division. We did about everything we could do on the field. Our television ratings were right with the Dodgers. And our owner lost $30 million. So to put that into context, the only other thing to do is to chop our payroll and go back to a team that's really going to struggle to compete and will not contend. Or you can raise ticket prices to try to offset some of that. Or you try to go get some sponsorship and marketing and return to the roots of this club, which were the LA Angels. We were LA's first original team. I think the fact of going back to that name is nothing more than trying to support this club with the resources that we need to see the type of baseball that everyone's enjoyed the last 5 years. I don't think everyone's going to argue the last 4 or 5 years that we've played terrific baseball at Angel Stadium. We want it to continue. I hope everyone here wants it to continue, and not at the price tag of having to shut out families that want to bring their kids to pass that passion of baseball on to their sons, and having to spend 2 paychecks to try to go to a ball game, which you do in Boston, which you do in New York, which you do in Los Angeles, which you do in a lot, well, I should say with the Dodgers, and what you do in a lot of areas. It's not going to happen down at Angel Stadium, and this is one avenue that's going to help it not happen. So I hope everybody will come to appreciate that fact. Thank you.
Mike West wants to know, was it hard to see guys like Percival Eckstein and Troy Gloss leave the organization?
Yeah, this is by far the toughest offseason we've had in our 6 years. When you see a guy like David Eckstein or Troy Gloss and Percy, and you realize they're not going to be in uniform coming to spring, it stings, it hurts, there's no doubt about it. It's certainly not the preference of what you would like to see. These guys are Angels, and they were terrific ball players, but it's a reality of what's happening. And we talked about the economics of parts of the game and what's going on. And some of these moves were made for financial reasons, and some were made because we were able to get more balance and help us in other areas. And it'll hopefully work out. I think once everyone sees this team that gets on the field in spring training and sees they have that same passion that these guys had to play the game, and they want to put that Angel uniform on and play the game a certain way, that hopefully we'll move on and start a new chapter in Angel baseball.
Mike, Paul wants to know, is Dallas McPherson going to be as good as Troy Gloss?
Well, that's a question. Why don't you ask me in about 5 years? I'll come back here in 5 years and ask me the same question. I'll let you know. There's some big shoes to fill. Troy Gloss is an incredible player, he played at a very, I won't say high level, played at an incredible level for many years. Dallas certainly has that potential. I think there's a lot of similarities in Troy when you're matching power and you're matching the way he can run and the way he loves to play the game. And it's going to take time. I think you have to be patient with a young player coming up with high expectations, and we will be with Dallas. And hopefully he's going to do what he did when he was playing in the Cal League for a while, what he did up in AA and AAA. It'll carry over to his big league career because he has as much talent as any young player coming up in the game.
9-year-old PJ Lewis wants to know, Mike, if you could choose between managing the Angels or the Dodgers, which would it be? About that question, 9 years old.
Both in Los Angeles, doesn't matter.
There you go. All right. Beautiful. I was waiting for that. What took so long for that comment? But definitely the Angels. I think it's really fun when you can get in at the ground level of something and start something new. And we had that opportunity in 2000 to come in and start with a whole new program, carry over some momentum, maybe of some ideas that have happened, but push an organization in a different direction. And I think we've been successful in getting this organization in the right direction. We already talked about Ty in the minor leagues, how they've been on the same page of what we're doing. It's fun to be the architect and to get something started from the ground level. So, and in a lot of ways, the Angels it's all of our little baby, and we're very, very proud of the way they play. We're proud of the organization. We're proud of the system. And right now, I couldn't imagine myself in any other place. I love it here.
Mike Cristobal wants to know, what is your current starting lineup for the 2005 season?
Is that Crystal Ball? Our lineup has a lot of flexibility, a lot of versatility. From Darren Erstad, who will hit somewhere at the top of the order, all the way down to Sean Figgins, who can hit ninth or hit second or hit first. There's a lot of flexibility. In the middle of the lineup will definitely be Garrett Anderson, Vlad Guerrero, and some combination of possibly Steve Finley, or he could possibly move up also. We'll wait until we get into spring training and see how everyone's looking. These pieces can fit in a lot of different ways, and we'll see how it goes. But we're going to have an aggressive team, a good offensive lineup, and whatever way we line them up, we're confident we're going to score runs.
Mike, Zach wants to know if you need a new bat boy, and Sammy wants to know if you would please sign his Rally Monkey and program.
We can never have enough bat boys, so yeah, we definitely would like to have bat boys. It's great. Bat girls are beautiful. That's great. That's good. Nothing wrong with that at all. They're probably pay attention and do better work than some of the guys. That would be great. Boys. Woman's Liv's making a comeback, huh? That's great. As far as the Rally Monkey, the Rally Monkey is a special place for all of us. And as Scott Spezio said, it's not a thing, it's not the monkey. The Rally Monkey is inside of all of us right here, and I think that touches us all. So I'll sign a Rally Monkey any day of the week. That is real, and we're happy that as if we're behind late innings, they put that Rally Monkey in the scoreboard, and we'll come back. What do they have here in the epicenter? We have any kind of a thing? Nothing?
We're never behind.
Oh, we're never behind? Who's running your club? Bring him up with us.
that primer. What else?
A rally dinosaur.
Mike, Robert wants you to talk about the Angels pitching staff. Who would be your number one starter, and then maybe who would replace Troy Percival as your closer?
Well, pitching's the key to the backbone of any club, and we're very, very fortunate to have a great starting rotation. I don't really believe in numbering guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get into that season, you need a guy out there that's going to give you a chance to win every game, and we're going to have that with Bartolo Colon, Jared Washburn, John Lackey, Calvin Escobar, and Paul Bird, who we signed, who's I think going to be a sleeper. A lot of people maybe don't realize how good a pitcher this guy is. He's healthy again, and we're going to be excited to see him in our uniform. In the bullpen, the first guy that comes to mind is obviously Frankie Rodriguez to replace Troy. It's going to take more than one person to replace Troy Percival. He was a guy that was an incredible part of our team for many years. He was the backbone closer of our bullpen for a long time. And I'm going to be shocked if one guy steps up and can just step in and do what Percy did. But we have Brendan Donnelly, Scott Shields, and Frankie Rodriguez, and Esteban Young, 4 guys with really power arms that can close games. So we're very, very strong in that aspect.
All right, Mike, we're going to give you a breather here. This question is for Ty Boykin, and it comes from Rick. Ty, Rick wants to know, come on up here. He wants to know about your managerial style. Are you a low-key kind of guy? And Rick mentions, like our last manager, Bobby Meacham, or are you more confrontational when umpires make bad calls?
I'm kind of a low-key kind of guy. I mean, for me, the thing is you can't really attack the umpires too much because a lot of times you end up losing the battle with that. Not to mention losing your voice, getting ahead of it, that kind of thing. But, I'm kind of a low-key, but when there's times that something needs to be said and, when you got to go to battle for your players, that's what you have to do. It's not going to happen every night, but definitely when there's time to stand up for your players and speak up, that's what you have to do.
Mike, you have some final comments for the Quakes banquet tonight?
Yeah, I do. That was great, Ty. I guess we got out of that. You're kind of low keyed until you get mad, right? That says it all. I want to thank everybody really for the invitation. It's great to get back here. I think great things are ahead for this game of baseball, and certainly here in the Inland Empire and what's happening in Rancho Cucamonga. What's happening in Southern California is incredible. We had probably over almost 10 million fans saw 3 teams between the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Angels last year. And if you add in what happened here in Rancho Cucamonga and the people that love this great game, it makes us feel great and great for the future because we've lost some steps in the last 20 years to some other sports and some other activities. The best baseball in the world, for my money, is played in Southern California, not at the pro level. We know that's the case, but at the amateur level. And when you see kids that are 10, 11, 12 years old and the talent that's out there, it's great to see the passion they have, and it starts with them looking at the pro teams and realizing that they have a dream they want to follow. It's great to see the young kids play baseball, and it translates into going all the way through the minor leagues and all the way up to the major leagues, college baseball too. So be proud of that, enjoy it, be part of it, and hopefully everyone will have a great summer and enjoy this great game. And thank you very much.